Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Tonight we have something different after a long winter break. We have the third edition of our Race of Champions tonight, and as you can see, we're just about getting ready to load into the lobby. Um, yeah, tonight we'll see what all of our URL champions can do against each other at Brazil tonight. Joining me, I have James here. James, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, I raced in league before, and hopefully I will again as we see rainy weather for qualifying today. I'm looking forward to it. Back on track for the Euro Championship, and we have all our championship drivers, of course, starting this race. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see them racing against each other on a very high level, of course.
Exactly, yes. And as you just said now, we have rain in qualifying. We're running full qualifying tonight. Um, so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where everyone feeds in. But we're just about to start, I think, hopefully. Um, and yeah, just let us know in the chat if sound seems okay. Hopefully, everything is mixed perfectly. And right now, it's frozen, so I hope we have no lobby issues. I will check with the guys and see
Yeah,
what they are saying. Yes, and we are in. Nice, nice. Okay.
very good. I mean, for most drivers, of course, it's a bit of a shock because most drivers, of course, they practice or they put up a setup in dry conditions because you always expect the weather to be dry and clear. And yeah, I think the drivers are waiting it now for the first driver to get on track. I don't know, it looks like full wet conditions actually. It's quite a lot of rain on track and water on track, so I guess the driver's just waiting. Also because it's Q1, only 3 drivers out of 18 will be eliminated. So maybe some drivers are waiting for others, maybe to crash or to make mistakes and then to profit from that.
Yes, exactly. It is looking very wet, and I can see two drivers that are currently on Inters. That's Mali and Jeffrey. I don't know if they've not changed it yet to full wets, but nearly everyone is on full wets. And yes, like you said, we're only going to have three drivers knocked out. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be important that these guys do not crash out during this Q1
Y-
session here.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would go out on track right now to actually get some laps in, get a bit of confidence on the second with an Alpine. And I think is it Jeffrey?
I
It is.
think
It is
so,
Jeffrey
yes.
on the intermediate tire. So he's the first one out on track or on the even I wouldn't say softer tire, but oh, we even have our first disconnect
Yeah, I
before.
will. I believe I have sent quite a few invites, so hopefully he can join back.
Okay, perfect.
So,
That sounds good.
worst case, would you be able to send invites if anything happens? If that's
Yes,
okay?
yes, I
Perfect,
will.
thank you. But yeah, so we have our first person, the Alpine, on Inters. It'll be interesting to see where the pace is on those Inters because it's looking pretty wet out there, to be honest. But it's also important on this outlap to not try and make any mistakes. Still learn the track a bit, and like you said, it's always good to come out a bit early, just so you know where the grip is on the track. But having seen that Jeffrey's on the Inters, I think a lot of the other drivers are now going to try Inter tires as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean this part of the track doesn't seem too wet right now, but yeah, it's going to be up and down.
Yes, I mean, as you already mentioned, most drivers already switched to the intermediates. We have Bombastic, the other RP driver, on track, as the Red Bull driver just joined again. We have a Mercedes going out on track now. That's, I think it's Black Box, yes it is. And then we have Jeffrey Love starting his first flying lap, probably
Yes,
more or less a safe lap. Hope.
exactly. Yes. So he's going through the center rushes now, looking very tricky there. Fifth gear, ooh, bit out of shape on the exit of the center rest there. But yeah, now onto the retro pasta, I think it's called. Um, yeah, taking it easy actually through there. Yeah, not too much risk right now, which is good. I think he's got one car up ahead. He should get out the way nicely for him as they're now going into the Ferradura, I think, horseshoe, translated in English. Yeah, the Williams gets out the way nicely there into turn 8. Just wide of the apex there a bit, and now going into turn 9. Be important to short shift here, which he doesn't do, so he opts to stay in fourth, but yeah, massive torque spike on the exit there, losing the car a bit. as he's now going into turn 10, into turn 11 now. Migulio, I think, yes, Migulio. Um, and now into the famous corner in 2008, I'd like to say, Junsao.
Yes.
Um, yeah, this section is not easy flat in the wet, as you just saw there. Got to be very careful. And obviously DRS not enabled in the wet conditions. So let's see what the first time is going to be here from Jeffrey. As you approach the line at 20.8. Not sure if that's fully competitive, but it's still very early in this session right now. So let's see
Yeah, it was his first lap. Usually you fuel up quite a bit, so you probably do consecutive laps now, 4, 5, 6 laps, to get a feeling for the car. We have Bombastic now at the end of Sector 2, going into Sector 3 at one now. And yeah, his laps,
right on board with them.
his laps looks a lot cleaner than the one from his teammate, so I guess that one will be a little bit faster. But actually no. Last
Yeah,
sector,
3/10 off.
3/10 off, yes.
See, I think we have Psycho in the Haas on a lap now as well. On the full wets actually, so he's opted to stay on those full wets. Maybe it's quicker, we'll see actually. Loses the car a bit on the exit of turn 3 there. Heading down the straight now. Black box in the wet, on the wet tyres in the Mercedes. 1:18.6, very good lap time from him. We actually have a Mercedes reunion tonight because Black Box and Randy used to be teammates in Mercedes and now they're back together for Race of Champions, which is nice for them. But yeah, expecting a lot from Black Box, Mali, Jimmy, Harry, expecting a lot, even Guyton actually, expecting a lot from those guys tonight. Well, expecting a lot from everyone, they're all our champions. But yes, we'll see what happens. As Walcott goes second on a 19.8 on the Inters. Let's see, Mali is on the Inters in the Ferrari as well.
Randy Goat is on the full wet in the Mercedes. Now crossing the line, bit wide on the exit of the last corner, but good enough for P3, 20.0, and Bombastic putting in another good lap, 19.0.
I think you're going to see a lot of these drivers gaining confidence now. Let's see what Mali can do at the second sector split, a 1 minute 0.9. So a decent middle sector there as Kinsman goes P1 provisionally with an 18.589. So good job there from him in the Williams. On the intermediates as well, yes. So I think we're on a crossover point between wets and inters, I think, from what the drivers are doing right now, as Mali goes P4 with a 19.3.
Yeah, just looking at Rosé in the Aston Martin, putting in an 18.8, second fastest driver on the full-wet tire, just behind Black Box, who's in P2.
Yeah, I think we have a Red Bull now as well, as Harry has retired from the session on track.
Oh, he crashed at exit of
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very easy to do there.
Yeah, he probably spun on the outside curb, trying to accelerate, and also Haas spun, which is Jimmy.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy spun also, but didn't crash.
Yeah, that's good. So we already have one victim of these conditions here tonight. And that is Harry, fortunately. But I'm sure he will be able to fight through in the race easily. He is definitely one of the quickest drivers on this game. Let's see who else is on a lap. We have Kinsman again, goes even faster now with a 17.897. So extending his gap up front on those inter tires. So he is definitely finding comfort in the wet conditions here in Q1. Let's see who else is on a lap. I think Rosé is on a second push lap. Yes, he is, I think. I'm not too sure because I don't see any battery being deployed, so I don't think so.
No, I think he will go on another push lap next lap.
Yeah.
I think he conserved some battery to push now again.
Yes.
There's Jeffrey on a push lap, 2 times up on his previous best lap time, and he pushes. Well, he does improve his lap time, 19.4, but doesn't improve his position, just behind Mali in P6.
So let's just see what Rosé does as he's approaching the first sector split into turn 4. He's 75 milliseconds down on his time. I'm sure he can try and find time in the next 2 sectors. Taking it very easy on the exit there of turn 5 into turn 6 now. 5th gear. Not able to get the apex, but that's okay in the wet conditions. Is now going into turn 8 here. Fourth gear, so using the higher gears there just to help him with the traction. Fourth gear here as well. Will he be able to pick up the power easily? Yes, he will. No major dramas there. This corner is very tricky because you can understeer a lot in the dry and the wet because the front right just locks up or lifts off the ground a tiny bit, unloaded. But he's half a second down, so I think the track is improving. I think we're going to get into conditions soon because I don't see that much rain anymore. And yeah, that does back up with all the drivers going out on inters now. So I think we have Sabi in the Alfa Romeo on a lap right now on the intermediate tyres. Loses the car just a bit on the horseshoe, but no major dramas there. Taking it very easy now through turn 9.
Yeah, his teammate McLeod also on a quick lap on the intermediate tire just in front of him. Now it's going to the downhill. That's not sector 2.
Ooh, Sabi loses the car a bit.
Fast.
There we go, a 17-1. So these are the types of times we should start to be seeing now. Guyton in that Red Bull, a very quick driver on this game. He has improved a lot over the last year or two and he's doing a very good job right now as McLeod goes with a 17 flat.
And
with his teammate. Oh wow, nice.
Pushing the car right to the top.
The Bomber 16.8, so yeah, the track is definitely getting faster now, as you can see there.
His teammate into P5 also improved by 7 tenths, so a lot of drivers are pretty close to each other. Racing Romola in P5 now 17.2.
We have Jeffrey 1.6 seconds up on his time. Purple in the middle sector. I don't know if we can trust the game on that, but when you see a purple, it's always a good sign. So let's see what he can do as he approaches the line now.
Yeah, should put him up into the front row. Not quite, but still pretty close.
Yes, so
17.3.
Not too far. I'm sure there's a lot of time left in there. Let's see anyone. Let's see who else we can see. Jimmy, yep.
He's pretty fast, 7 tenths up on his time. And that could actually mean he could put his car not only in the front row, also in pole position. Oh, no, it's Q1 at the moment, so still it's P2. It's a good preparation for Q3 later on.
Yeah. But that's another thing they also need to consider is that they don't want to push too hard because if they crash, they're going to miss out on opportunities for Q2 and Q3. So they have to find the balance between.
And to be honest, I think we will see the dry tires soon. It's getting lighter and lighter, and I think through Q2 next session, then also through Q3, I think we will see the slick tires.
Let's hope so, because I really want to see what these guys can do in the dry conditions.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Mali is about to start a lap now in the Ferrari, taking a nice wide line into turn 1 now.
Yeah, 60 minutes remaining of the session. So we are into the last third of Q1.
Ooh, losing the car just a tiny bit on the turn 3 there, but getting a very good exit now, running into turn 4 now. Let's see what his sector's going to be. So he's 6 tenths up already, so a very good first sector. So yeah, the int is working amazingly right now for the guys.
Yeah, he needs about 2 seconds, roughly 2 seconds to get into that top 10 position to feel safer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We should be able to see that, especially in the middle sector now where you need a lot of the tire grip here, so those inters should be working amazingly now for the drivers here. No major issues I can see right now. He's now going into turn 10 here. Picks up the power nicely there. Going to take it very easy here through turn 11 and now into Jinsao. 2.6 seconds up, very good middle sector there from Mali there. MDJ goes to provisional P1 right now with a 16 flat. So a very good job there from the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, well, we could see Mali jumping up the time table, and he does go up into P2.
So just misses out, but very good lap.
Yeah, very, very good lap.
I think we have Randy now in the Mercedes on the Inter. He's got a car up ahead. Hopefully the Haas does move out the way. Rose, wow, 15.6.
Yeah, but it's also indicator that the track is getting better. Rain is getting less, and the more the drivers will drive, the better line they will create a better line to race on.
Exactly.
They will create more grip.
I feel like it's going to be similar to real life Brazil last year, where they're going to have to wait till the last minute to be able to set their lap times because that's when the track
Yes.
is going to be at the most grip. So, as Black Box goes to P1 right now, and Randy, can he improve? He goes into the top 7 there. So Mercedes 1 and 7 right now. Very good job from them. As I think Kinsman also just improved into P3, so the track is ramping up quite quickly here. Digo, I think he's up into
He
P10.
improved
Yes, he is.
Yeah, up to P10. Walcott and Bombastic still on the back foot, P16, P17. At
Yeah.
the moment out of Q1, but Bombastic is going out on track now, and I think Walcott will join him soon. Because I think, as you said, all the drivers actually need to go out to put in some lap times, because the best track will be at the end of the session. The best lap
Exactly.
times. So, yeah, if you miss out on that, it's pretty high chance you will be eliminated from qualifying. So, yeah.
We have guys now in the middle sector doing a very good lap so far. He was two and a bit tenths up in the first sector. Let's see if he can improve a lot in the middle sector now. Putting the power on nicely. Ooh, getting just a tiny bit out of shape, but not too bad. He's 1.2 seconds up right now, so that's still going to put him around in the top 10, I think. So now can he get a very good exit? They're getting on full power very nice and early there. Has now got to run to the line. He should still have time to recharge the battery and go for another lap, hopefully, if he has enough fuel. P2 right now, so that's still a very good lap time there from the Red Bull driver. Jimmy, I think, about to start a lap here. Let's see who else is on a lap right now.
Jeffrey's on a lap. At the moment, P15. Sabi goes fastest with a 15.2.
I think Mali is also about to cross the line. Yes, he is. Let's see what he can do now as he's approaching the pit lane. I think he's going to... No, he's not going to go in. Okay, that's fine. Cutting it very fine on the white line there. Goes up to P2, so very good job there from the Ferrari. I think we've got Jimmy on a lap as well. Yes, McLeod. Wow, 14.8.
Oh, 14.8, yeah, very fast.
Those Alfa Romeos are very fast right now. So hopefully they can do something amazing in the race together as well. I think we have Jeffrey. Yep, he's 1 point something seconds up now as well. So let's see.
1.6 in the second sector. And he should improve into the top 10, and this will be P6, 15.6.
Nice job from him.
And now pretty much all drivers are out on track. And yeah, even Randy, MDJ going on track, Walcott out on track. So we will see every driver driving, except for Fabio, of course, who crashed his car early on in turn 3.
What can Jimmy do? Goes into provisional P1 there. Very good lap there from the Haas driver. I think we have Rose. Yes, Rose is on another lap as he's approaching into the second sector split. He's only got 1 minute 22 left, so he could recharge and go for a final push lap if he has enough fuel. I think he's got 3.4 laps worth of fuel, so that should be enough actually. Going purple in the middle sector. He's going to get a bit of a slipstream actually from that Ferrari. And McLeod going into P1 right now, 14.7. So very good job from those Alfa Romeo boys. And Rose goes even faster.
Yeah, 14.5. Digo in the McLaren, who's on track at the moment, is the only driver who's able, time-wise, to do another lap afterwards. Every driver behind him, that will be the final lap time.
So that'll be very crucial. Can Digo do 2 push laps in a row? He's going to be very low on battery, though. That's the only issue. But if he can hook this lap up, it still could allow him to get into the top 15 for the next qualifying session.
Yeah, we see some drivers pitting, Black Box, Mali going to the pits.
I think they're happy with their time so far. But they must have also not had enough fuel maybe to push for another lap. But I'm sure they'll still might be able to get through here because they are far enough.
Yes, absolutely. Kingsman is up into P2.
Good job there from the Williams driver.
Up into P3.
Jimmy aborts his lap.
It could get a bit close for Jeff for Mali. If every driver behind him is improving at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I think we have racing crossing the line now. Is he? Yes, he is done for qualifying. So he's not able to improve. So he's going to be knocked out there. Randy, he may be safe if A&L Walcott cannot improve, but I think Walcott, Yeah, Walcott on a very good lap. He's already 3 seconds up on his personal best, so that will still put him very easily into the top 15 here. So Randy definitely
Also
does need to improve.
and he does. He does improve up into P3.
Comfortably done
14.5.
there from him.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we have a MDJ about to cross the line now. What's he
Yeah.
gonna do?
Also very fast.
P4, very good job there from him. And then we have the next, which is a Red Bull of Guyton. He should be comfortably through now because there's not enough drivers behind for him to
No,
get knocked
and
out from.
Digo made a big mistake, and that will probably mean that he will be out of qualifying. The McLaren, both McLaren cars will be out of qualifying because Digo made a big mistake going into turn 11.
Yep, Eagle aborts his lap there, so that is it for qualifying, I believe. Yep.
Yes,
So Q1 is over.
and it will be the two McLarens and one Red Bull of Racing Formula being
Yes.
eliminated out of qualifying, and there will be 15 remaining drivers there to compete for the top 10.
It is a shame to see the two McLarens out there, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Yes.
But hopefully, maybe by the looks of the way that the track is drying right now, we could see dry tyres in Q2. I can see a glimpse of sun through the clouds as well. So it will be interesting to see what happens. But I'll run you through Q1 right now. So we have Guyton P1, Sabi P2, Rose P3, Randy P4, Bombastic P5, MDJ 6, Kinsman 7, Bomber 8, McLeod 9, Jimmy 10, Black Box 11th, Jeffrey 12th, Walcott 13th, Mally 14th, Psycho 15th, and the three drivers knocked out, Digo, Racing, and Harry. Harry crashing out at the exit of turn 3 there. It's a shame for him, but I'm sure he'll be able to fight back through the race. Yep, we're loading through now. And it looks dry, so should have a dry ending to this qualifying now. Q2 and Q3 upcoming. Just going to wait for all the drivers to load in now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very dry. I was about to say that maybe throughout the sessions the track will improve also, and maybe even then at the end of the session the times will be faster. But look at this track, it's bone dry. I don't think that the track will improve that much, maybe about 1 or 2 tenths, maybe even 3, 4, 5 tenths, but not even seconds. So, yeah.
Yeah, and
Drivers
crucially,
can go
because
out.
they had a wet Q1 session, they will have some extra sets of softs to be able to use and just get the grip. Because the track will still be very greasy, like it will still not have the full grip because of the rain conditions in Q1. So it'll be interesting to see the track evolution. Maybe it could be a few tenths, maybe it might even be half a second by the end of the session. We won't know until we get there. But yeah, no one going out on track yet. Obviously Brazil a short track, so they can push it to like 12, 13 minutes and still do around 2 or 3 laps. So
Yeah. I mean, they could do 3 runs now. I mean, it's important for the drivers. I think it's again Jeffrey Love starting the session in the Alpine, and it is on the fresh soft tires. It's important for the drivers now to get used to these conditions, because now you can brake later, accelerate a bit earlier, really push the car in the corners, going over the curbs. Yeah, in the rain or in the rainy conditions that wasn't really possible because you didn't want to spin the car, and now it is.
Exactly, yes. I don't see anyone else. So only Jeffrey right now on that. Like in Q1, going out early, just trying to try and have the track a bit to himself. You know, get to learn the track a bit more as the conditions are changing. So yeah, he'll be the first one to start a lap. I think his teammate is also out on track as Guyton disconnects sadly.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be back. I think he was the one disconnected earlier as well.
Yes, yes. He does sometimes have internet issues.
Yeah.
Occasionally, sadly.
So now onboard riding with Jeffrey Love. Let's see what he can do in Brazil. I think really good lap times are about in the 1.7 region. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't driven this track for quite a long time, but I can remember doing pretty low 8s and pretty high 7s.
Yes, exactly.
So
We should be able to see quite a few of these drivers in the sevens. I think the sixes are reserved for the esports drivers to be able to get into the
yes,
sixes.
yes, I think yeah, I think that was it. First sector
17
should be,
to 2. So
yeah, I
that's
think the
a
16 high should be
yes.
like maximum if you really push it into the center S's.
Going into Ferradura now, 6th gear. You don't really need to touch the apex, and it's very easy to lose a rear end there, especially when you start to apply the full throttle. 3rd gear through here, really short shift to 4th, yes you will, just to get that traction there. Nicely done through there. And now going into turn 10. I think that's called Bico de Pato, which means duck bill. Such a funny name. As we're now going into Junsao. 52.3, so I think we should be seeing around 51s as well through the middle
51
sector.
sixes, yeah. But again, it's his first lap, and of
Yeah,
course he will actually be improving, and it's a 19.2,
so yeah,
and it was
still
a
got a
pretty
little way
clean
to
lap.
go.
Yeah, let's look at his teammate, Bombastic.
Yes,
He was a 10 faster in the first sector.
so doing a very good job so far. Getting it nicely through into turn 10 there. And now through the Magulio, sorry. And now what's it going to be? A 52 flat. So yeah, just a 10 up as well, still on his teammate. So doing a very good job so far. Like we said earlier, track still not up to 100% grip. So we will see these times slowly start to tumble. As what's it going to be as he crosses the line? A 1087, yeah. So already into the 8s.
He's five times faster than his teammate. That's pretty surprising because by the second sector he was up by 2 tenths, and he improved by 3 tenths. So I guess maybe Jeffrey either running with higher wings, or maybe didn't even push that hard on his first lap.
So that was one other thing I was going to say, because we were running approximate weather. Maybe some of these drivers may be running slightly higher wing setups, maybe wet setups, because they maybe don't know what the full weather situation is. So that would be an interesting thing to see between all the drivers,
Yes.
what types of setups or what compromises they made to their original setups for qualifying and also the race.
Yeah, because of the race, we don't know what the weather will be like. We could actually see a full wet rainy race, and if
Yeah,
that's the case, most of the drivers will actually run higher wings to improve stability of the car. Well, we'll
exactly.
see.
As I just saw Rose invalidate his lap, we're going to have the Red Bull of Guyton about to start lap now as he's going through the final proper corner. Obviously now the rest of this is going to be easily flat out in the dry. So let's see what the Red Bull can do. Guyton very quick around in that Red Bull, very quick, but also very quick around this track, especially in the previous season of Division 1. He was very good in qualifying. So let's see what he can do in the Race of Champions today. Right on the limit on the turn 2 there, very good job. Jimmy going into provisional P1 there with a 8-2. So a good job there from the Haas. What can Guyton do? Purple in sector 1, 16.9, so a very good first sector there.
Really good first sector.
Let's see, as now he flies into turn 7 there, into turn 8. Not seeing any issues with the rear of the car, so looking pretty stable there. Second gear, really short shift to 4th maybe. Keeps it in 3rd, so managing to find good traction there. 2nd again for this corner, short shifting to 3rd. Now easily flat now from the middle of this apex here. It's going to be on the 51.4, so not the best middle sector, but still very good job.
Yeah, it's the same sector as Jimmy's, so it's gonna be really close on the line between those two drivers.
And he goes
Yeah.
provisional P1 right now. Very good job there from the Red Bull. We have, let's see, I think Mali is on a lap. Yes, he is, into the second half of the middle sector there. Going easily flat through there. And now going into the Jinsha corner, 51.2. So it's 2 tenths up on Guyton and Jimmy in that middle sector. So can he put it into P1 for now in Q2? Let's see as he's running up to the line. Sabi, one is... Yes. I think I remember seeing that those Alfa Romeo drivers are very close in the previous championships that we've done. They are always close. They're always working together. So it's nice to see that they're like in the same team, same pace. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do in the race.
Yeah. Probably Mali isn't far off the pace, just under 10th, slower than Sabi. And I mean, I guess times around Brazil gonna be really, really close. So you're not allowed to make any mistakes on your lap, especially later on in Q3. But the drivers pretty close together.
Yes, exactly. We have Rose now going into the center S is there, getting a good exit through turn 3, and now onto the Retroposta, heading into turn 4 now. What's his sector split going to be? A 16-9, so on par with the top guys up there so far. Sector 1 is very tightly matched between the drivers. It's only 3 corners, and as long as you get your line right, you will be able to match the other guys in Sector 1. Doing very nicely there through the horseshoe into turn 8 now. Not cutting that corner as much, which he previously did, which invalidated that lap time. So just taking it easy through there, and now going into turn 10. Just wide of the apex, but that's okay because he carried a lot of minimum speed through there, which is good to see. And now going into Junsao, 51.2, so purple middle sector according to the game, but that is on par with what the other drivers in the top 3 have been doing. So it should be able to match that and probably get into the top 4 easily. So actually no, so it's an 8th.
It's really close.
Very close, exactly. I think he might be running slightly higher downforce maybe because he did lose a bit of time on the straights there. Let's see who else is on a lap. I think we have Walcott on a lap. Yes, he is. He's just started his lap there in the Williams.
Both Mercedes drivers still in the pit, so they're waiting for something.
Yeah.
I guess they're only doing 1-1, which is pretty risky actually.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they have something up their sleeves, the Mercedes drivers.
Yes.
I'm not sure if they pulled any similar tactics when they were previously teammates, but maybe they're pulling some master stroke from their previous time together. I'm not sure.
So Walcott a bit of pace, doing a 52.1 in the second sector.
Yeah, he was 4/10 down in that first sector as well, so slightly struggling for pace, or maybe just finding his feet right now. But yeah, it's a 109.4, so not the best of times. 4/10 off the next car in P11, which is Psycho. But hopefully he will be able to improve once he puts another fresh set of soft tyres on. Got 4 minutes left of the session actually. Yeah, I do expect these guys to try and come out as late as possible.
Yeah. I mean, they could come out now actually, because now they will have a free track just by themselves. But
Yeah,
I guess, the best track will be at the end of the session.
Yes, exactly. We've got to hope that they don't get into the traffic as well, because I'm sure the drivers won't be happy when everyone's going very slow, because you lose all your tyre temperature, and it just doesn't help with the preparation of the start of the lap. As I believe, we're going to see Walcott into the box. Sabi, the first car on a fresh set of softs to come out now. He is on his out lap, so I'm not sure when his teammate will come out as well. Maybe they might even try a tow between the two of them. Maybe the Mercedes might try a tow between the two of them as well. But yeah, right now in the drop zone we have Bomber, Psycho, Walcott, MDJ, Randy and Black Box. But obviously Randy and Black Box, the Mercedes driver, is not set a lap time just yet. But yeah, we will be losing.
Now out on track. So I
Nice,
think one of
nice.
the two Mercedes guys
Yep.
on track now.
But yeah, we will be losing 5 cars on the end of this Q2 session. The first car on maybe his final run is Sabi in the Alfa Romeo. I believe they might be running dry setups, the two Alfa Romeos.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the top speed, it's looking very competitive.
325. I'm gonna compare them actually. Let you focus on the times and comparing the top speed,
Sure,
so
sure,
we
sure.
can actually make ourselves a picture.
Okay, okay. As Savi now approaching turn 4, 16.7, so a very good first sector there, 33 milliseconds up on his time. So very good job there for the Alfa Romeo driver as he's now approaching into the Ferradura, the horseshoe, turn 6 and turn 7, double apex corner into turn 8 now. Picks his brake zone, fourth gear, takes a lot of curb but not cutting it, which is a very good job from him. Into turn 9, very good exit there, right on the limit of the track, which is very good. Into turn 10 here. Can he keep it flat through Magulio? Yes, he can. Turn 11 into now Junsao. It's a 50.9, so he's nearly 2 tenths up on his previous lap time. So the Alfa Romeo is flying right now as he's now approaching. Easily flat through all of these small little corners here. And now picks up the DRS. What's his time going to be? Doing around 3:22 k's down on the across the finish line. A 1:07.5, so a very good lap time there from the Alfa Romeo. His teammate is another 1.5 tenths up. So maybe both Alfa Romeos having some magical setup right now, which is allowing them to have very good top speed, but also good balance between all the corners. And now, yep, we're going to see McLeod across the line. What's it going to be? And he is going to go just behind his teammate. Those Alfa Romeos are super close between the two of them. As we have now Mali starting a lap in the Ferrari.
And Randy doing a 1:8.2, which is it is a good lap time, but it might not be enough for Q3. His teammate now on a quick lap as well as MDJ retired in the pits.
So I think that's him done for qualifying today. Let's see what Black Box can do in the Mercedes. He's got an Alfa Romeo up front. Is he going to get a nice little slipstream maybe from the Alfa Romeo? Let's see. Yes, he will. So that's... no, he won't.
He spins the car.
That curb is very hard. I'm not sure if he got distracted a bit from the Alfa Romeo.
Maybe. But still.
It is very easy, especially when you're not running line. You just need to have that clear track in front of you sometimes just to focus, and so it's a shame.
You will have another lap. Let's just hope that this last lap with not enough ERS will still be good enough for maybe qualifying for Q3.
Yes, we have Chris Bombastic in the Alpine P9 right now. What's he going to do as he crosses the line? P5, so a good improvement there. Rose, not the best first sector, but he is. Let's see who else is on a lap. Jimmy.
Kingsman is improving, but not enough. He stays P10.
So not enough of an improvement there.
6. Mr. Psycho isn't improving as much also. 19.0 is the fast lap of him, and he does a 18.9. Stays P12. Walcott stays P13. And that means all this up to Black Box.
Yes, it's important that Black Box can try and now improve. He's got no battery though, so he's going to be super slow on the straights. But can he make up the time in that middle sector? Let's see. It's going to be very tight on the limit.
Probably lose about maybe 3 tenths.
Easily, yes.
Now,
is it going to be? Is he going to be able to make it? Yes, he will.
P7.
Okay.
That's a super fast lap time.
Very good lap time for him. Mali invalid, so he won't improve, but he's comfortably through. And Chris as well, just on the in lap there. So yes, that is Q2 done. We have 5 drivers out, which are NDJ, Walcott, Psycho, Bomber, and Kinsman. Those are the 5 drivers that have been eliminated in this Q2 session. But wow, what a good job from Black Box there. He had literally no deployment left on his car, and he still managed to make up the difference in the first and second sector there. So very good job there from the Mercedes. Both Mercedes drivers actually only doing 1 run, so that means they're going to have more sets of tyres for Q3, but that also may mean that they have some softs left for the race, in case. I know the track is very tough on the soft tyres. Soft tyres are not the best race tyre, but let's say there's a late safety car or anything. Those softs might be doing them a good job. They have a fresh set.
Yeah. And I actually had an eye on the top speeds, and you said that the 2 Alfa Romeos maybe running a bit of low downforce setups. Doing, I think it was 325. The Red Bull done 335 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
So
okay.
He was 10 kilometers an hour faster. at the end of the straight, which was pretty impressive. But he's
Amazing.
attempts behind, so maybe losing a
Yeah.
bit too much in the corners.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to run you guys through now the Q2. So we have Sabi, McLeod, the two Alfa Romeos in P1 and 2, Guyton P3, Mali P4, Bombastic P5, Rose P6, Black Box P7, Randy P8, Jimmy P9, Jeffrey P10, and the 5 drivers knocked out, Kinsman, Bomber, Psycho, Walcott, and MDJ. Those are the 5 drivers knocked out in this Q2 session. So I'm going to ask you a very, very important question here. Your prediction.
Oh God.
Who do you think is going to get pole position in Q3?
I mean, it is really close, but to be fair, the two Alfa Romeo drivers doing an excellent job, being very close together and at the top of timing table. So I'm guessing it's going to be one of those two drivers, but I'm not 100% sure on who's going to be at the top. So
It definitely
it's going to
does
be one of
seem.
the two. It's going to, yeah.
It definitely does seem that those two Alfa Romeos have a very good balance between straight line speed and middle sector performance. But yeah, maybe we'll see a surprise. I don't know. I have some trust in Black Box. I believe in Black Box. That is something that he used to run. I don't know if he still runs now, but I'm still going to say it now because it's been a long time since I've said that. I think Black Box, Mali, the two Alfa Romeos, even Guyton, all have a chance for pole position here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
As you can see, a lot of the drivers coming out straight away early. I think they all want to do some runs, get some bankers in because they are going to be pushing to the max. Maybe we might see some crashes as well because they're pushing that hard.
Yeah, we could see the 3 runs of the drivers. I mean, they have a lot of time left, so two Alfa Romeos on track, Bombastic on track. We have Jimmy on track, we have Jeffilov on track, we see the Ferrari of Mali on track, Black Box on track, the Aston Martin, and also now the Red Bull going on track. So all the drivers going up pretty early to get some laps in.
Interestingly, Randy. Okay, he is leaving now. I was going to say maybe Randy was going to try and give Black Box a bit of a tow up the straight and then start a lap after, but I don't think that is the case. But we were right on board with Sabi because he will be the first car to start a lap here. Two Alfa Romeos in formation. Bombastic tried to get past actually, and he has managed to do that. So will he try and overtake? He split the Alfa Romeo, so maybe some sort of slipstreaming has failed. As Sabi now exiting the final proper corner in the dry, and now Chris, look at him, look how close he is. I think he's trying to steal some slipstream.
Yeah, he is really close, which could be very good for the last sector and for the first sector. But look how he's closing up now, which means that in the second sector, he will feel some dirty air. And we also already see it at turn 1, or breaks himself.
Yes.
So it's not the perfect start for him.
Chris is a bit of a sly fox. He always likes to push the limits here and there, and he goes wide into turn 1. Sabi now 16.8 through the first sector. Let's see what his teammate did. He did a 16.82, so both of the Alfa Romeos evenly matched through that first sector. So, yeah, it'll be, I think, those two very close on time once again. Fourth gear through turn 8 there, and now going into turn 9. A very easy corner to lose the rear end, but very early on the power there, nearly full throttle just before the exit, also very confident on the rear end there, and now easily flat through here. It should be now. The track grip is very high now going into Junsao. It's going to be a 50.9, so not the best that they did in Q2, but still good enough. Chris now fell back a bit, so he's not going to get that much slipstream, but yes, we're going to have Sabi as our first car to set a lap time in Q3, and it's going to be a...
Oh, he left the session.
Oh, yes, I was wondering why it just cut over. Wow, okay.
Oh, that's some really bad timing.
Yes.
McLeod on provisional pole, Black Box in P2, Jimmy P3, Mali P2. Oh, that's some really unfortunate timing.
Very unfortunate.
Rose in P3, we have the Red Bull driver.
P1.
For provisional pole. Very good lap time.
Very good job from him. Randy now the final car that is able to set a lap right now. But yeah, very strange. I was riding on board with Sabi and then he just cut off and he disconnected. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
He should be able to join back.
It must have been like at the end of the straight. Must have been really close.
He was.
Really unfortunate.
I believe he was just about to cross the line when that happened. So very unfortunate for him. It's a shame.
His second sector, the 59 we talked about. I think that still was the fastest second sector of everyone.
Wow, okay. Because I do remember seeing some 50.8s, I think, in Q2, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly. So there's still a lot of time to find, but yeah, very good job there. But Guyton, in that Red Bull, he was a qualifying master in Division 1 last season. So showing his pace still here today in that Red Bull. Would you? Okay, yeah, he has come back. I was gonna
yeah.
say it's
I,
been a
I,
little
I
while.
just checked. I just checked my Discord, to be fair, whether he texted or said anything like. But yeah, it's good that he rejoined. He still has time for 2 runs, so it's not over for him yet.
Exactly, yes.
Just needs to
Um,
get into the car, fresh new set of tires on, and he will be, I guess, the first driver on the track again.
so a bit of a quiet period here. Everyone getting ready for the second runs. I think I see Mali coming out. Yes, he
Ali,
is.
yeah, and also a Haas of Jimmy,
So
and I
those
think
two,
Bruce Sabi is also now going
yes.
out.
So yeah, now we're getting back into the second busy period of this Q3
Oh,
session.
actually, it's McLeod. McLeod actually exited a bit, so now Sabi going out of truck.
I'm not sure if Sabi is still having game issues right now. Um, let's see. It is getting cloudy, so maybe there could be some rain. I don't know actually, because it's got cloudy very
Oh,
quickly in
already?
the
Oh,
last few
oh,
minutes.
yeah. You're right. I didn't even notice that. But you're probably right. That's probably why the drivers went out on track so early. We might see some rain at the end of the session. That would actually mean that the timing. Oh yeah, actually they need a complete replica of the 2021 Brazilian qualifying session.
As we've got now Jimmy across the line starting his second run now. We have Mali also behind in the Ferrari and also the Alfa Romeo of McLeod. So those three guys crossing the line now. I think we also have an Alpine. So a lot of these guys now starting their laps. Let's see what Jimmy can do as he's now approaching turn 4 in his Haas. Is it going to be a Haas masterclass? He's 16.9 in that first sector, 67 milliseconds up on his time, so that's a decent improvement so far. But this is where he needs to improve now. Sector 2, Sector 3. This is where you need your tyres in check and where you need that maximum grip from them. Nice and comfortable through the horseshoe turns in nicely there. Can he pick up the power easily? Yes, he can. No issues on the exit there. Now this corner is super tricky. Just gets it to that apex. Nicely done there. Keeps it in fourth gear. Easily flat through here. Now the track grip is at its highest now. 2/10, nearly 3/10 improvement actually, as he's now going into that final proper corner. Let's see what Mali's actually invalidated. He's backed out, so we'll stay on board with Jimmy there as he's approaching the line now. What's his time going to be? He's doing around 311, 312 kilometers on that straight there. So he goes up to P3, so very good improvement there from Jimmy. And McLeod goes even faster to take provisional
And
pole position here.
His teammate is even faster now. Savi doing a very good lap time. Let's just cross fingers that this time he will stay on track. It's going to be a 1:7.476 just
So-
behind Black Box, who moved up into P2.
So still very close up front, which is nice to see. Jeffrey crosses the line. P9 so far. Randy also needing to improve here. The rain's falling. I can see drops. So that's it.
Yeah.
This is the best
And
of the track conditions gone.
Yeah, but Gaten is on the start finish right now, so his lap time will still be improving.
Yes,
because it's just flat out now.
Crucially still has that DRS because it's not been deactivated and
It is
provisional.
It is enough for provisional pole and probably pole position.
Yes,
Very
exactly.
good lap time, 1:7.3, just half attempt faster than McLeod. Really good lap time. And
he does
I think
the
you're
job.
Right, I think it's over now.
I think it is as well. But wow, what a job there from Guyton there in P1.
Yeah. Right at the end. Perfect timing. Timing couldn't be any better.
Exactly, and I think Jimmy's retired in the box, so I think, yep, that's it. All the drivers think that's it. That's the best of the conditions done. So So this should be the final grid. Um, yeah, there's no way of improving now. Yeah, DRS disabled. The rain is falling very quickly around Brazil. So this is why we like doing Brazil, because you get so much different action. You get weather just playing into it, and the drivers are super close. So it's so much pressure for them as well.
I really hope that the race will be the same, that we start in rainy conditions, have a transition to a dry track, and then again having some rain at the end. That will be actually really interesting for the race as well.
It will be.
It's not an Alfa Romeo on pole.
It isn't. No, it's a Red Bull Guyton.
Yeah, it's a very familiar pace in P1 for
Black
the race.
Box doing a very good job splitting the Alfa Romeos. Unfortunate for Sabi because he only had that one lap, but he still did a very good job to put it that close to the top three. So a very good job on that single lap he managed to do. And yep, all these drivers slowly retiring now because they know there's no point.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, absolutely. And it's getting wet quite fast.
Yes.
So
it's
coming down pretty fast now. Yeah.
But yeah. I'm just going to say again, amazing job from Sabi to be able to do that one lap under so much pressure. So good job there from him. And I think everyone has retired. So I will run you through the top 10. And we have the Red Bull of Guyton in P1, McLeod P2, Black Box splitting those Alfa Romeos in P3, Sabi P4, Jimmy P5, Mali P6, Randy P7, Bombastic P8, Rose P9, and Jeffrey P10. So that is the top 10 for the race. The top 4 split by just over a tenth. Very close. But Guyton doing...
9 split by half a second.
It's amazing.
Even Jeffrey did the faster lap, I think, at Q2. So it's going to be an interesting race, definitely. DS being enabled after lap 3, hopefully, if it's a dry race. And then we'll have some interesting battles on track. And yeah.
Brazil always tends to throw up a very good race, so hopefully we can do the same here tonight between all these drivers here as we are now loading in. So it looks currently dry right now, but it is cloudy, so maybe there could be some rain. We cannot say yes or no.
No. We could probably actually predict it by the choice of tires, because usually you will start on a medium tire because it's the best race tire. I guess people at the back may be choosing or opting for the hard tire to push it in the beginning and then go into a medium tire if it's a one-stop. But let's see. I don't think anyone, if there's not rain coming in the first few laps, I don't think anyone will actually go for the soft tire, because as you said, it's not the best tire. The track is pretty harsh. On the soft, it will only last for about 8 to 10 laps on really good pace and then fall down. And
easily. The tire temperatures get very high here, especially on the softs, especially after 4 or 5 laps. They're easily 100 degrees, maybe even more. So it's a tire punisher here around Brazil, especially because of that middle sector. You just need so much grip on these tires. But we've got the countdown now. Hopefully the drivers know there is no formation lap, because it's still unknown if it's fixed or broken. Yes.
Yeah. And we have everyone on medium tires except one single driver, and that's Mali, the only Ferrari driver. He is on the hard tire. No, he actually switched again. He switched again. And no one getting out of order, and you can commentate the start.
So we have the 5 red lights here. And are we going to get away now? Yes, we are. And the Alfa Romeo gets a very good start there. McLeod already up into P1 as they get into turn 1 there. I think I can see some drops. I don't know. But the Red Bull now right on the back of the Alfa Romeo there of Sabi. Black Box not getting a best of start. He's got Jimmy right behind him. Oh no, man, he's spinning. And I can see a car going wide as well. The 2 cars up front fighting it into turn 4. Guyton just gets ahead of Sabi, so he gets that P1 back again. Must have used quite a bit of battery though. And Black Box now able to hold off Jimmy. And Sabi now trying to look for a move. So Sabi losing 1 position to Jimmy there. So Jimmy getting a good start. I'm not sure if I can see some raindrops or not. Maybe it's just my eyes and maybe I want some rain. I don't know. But I'm sure I can see some drops here and there.
I can't see any drops, but
okay.
But I guess if there's rain coming, someone would have opted for the soft tire. It would have been a faster tire.
Maybe it's Maybe it's just my eyes deceiving me. Maybe I'm just too excited for some rain. I see a yellow flag. I think that's a Williams spinning off there.
Yeah, Walcott spinning. The good thing for both Marley and Walcott now is Jimmy gets past black box and now they are free wide into turn 1 on the start finish straight. Mercedes against Haas against Alfa Romeo, and who will come out on top? And it's the Alfa Romeo on the inside, Mercedes on the outside. Jimmy
Black box
two
just
positions.
gets it.
Yes, but now
Just gets
it's
it.
Davi behind black box. Wow. Already we see close racing for these drivers.
Yes. So we got the same top 4 as we did in qualifying. Black box using a bit of his deployment now, just trying to pull away, but they have used quite a bit, and it's not hard, but it's still not good to use too much of your battery because you don't want to be having to recoup it a lot, especially with such a long straight. But as you can see, Sabi right on the back of black box, so I think this is going to be a race-long fight if they can keep it together and clean.
Yeah, but the problem is for those drivers is they lost the DRS to McLeod and Gaten in P1 and 2, and that's gonna be really hard because the grid is so close on pace. It's gonna be really hard for those drivers behind to actually close the gap to under 1 second to use the DRS. Right
Exactly,
now,
and as you can see,
push away.
Exactly, and Black Box using so much of his battery there. He sets the fastest lap of the race, trying to get back into that 1 second. He just about does. The DRS detection, no, just maybe? Yes, he does.
Yes.
He does.
Yes, he does. And that
So-
was really important. That was
Exactly.
really, really important. Oh,
Now
and
that he's
there's
got
there's a crash.
Oh
There's
my
a
god.
big crash in the back.
Let me-
Randy,
let-
Jimmy, and I think it was Randy and Jimmy getting
Wow.
together.
Okay,
And other drivers being punished by that as well. We see Harry already up into P11, so you were right. He's gaining a lot of positions. Teammate also
Yes.
up into P13.
so the McLaren getting a good job there. Harry is a very quick driver. He has the pace to get into that top 5, 6 easily. But
Absolutely.
it's going to be very hard to balance between tires, battery, and also just being able to overtake with that dirty air. But I'm sure we can see him fight through. I don't see any battles through the grid right now. But actually, McLeod very close. He's not deploying, so he's just going to sit back. But crucially, Black Box has lost that DRS once again. Can he gain it back into that first sector? He's very low on
He always-
battery.
Is
as
very,
well.
very low on battery, and that's good for Savi, who sees the red light flashing up several times, so he can maybe perform a move next lap.
But yeah,
Also,
Sabi.
top 4, they pushed away from the rest of the grid. We see a 4-way battle for P5, Jose Basti, Kingspan, and Jeffrey Love fighting it up for P5. But yeah, the gap is getting bigger.
Exactly. I think we're going to see these top 4 pull away because they were very good in qualifying. Even though the grid was tight in the race, it's a whole different scenario. But Rose, don't count him out. Rose is very quick in the race. I've raced him many times, and he can pump in very consistent, very fast laps as well. So let's see if he can try. He has some clear air, so in this middle sector, he should be able to, if he has enough pace to catch up. And he's already caught up about a tenth already in this middle sector. Still not enough. But if he can pull away from Bombastic and just get that free air, it'll relieve him of any pressure and be able to push on. But Bombastic has Kinsman right behind him. But I think Chris will still get DRS. Chris meaning Bombastic.
Ooh, and at the front we see a battle for P1, McLeod side by side with Gaten into turn 1, turn 2, and there's gonna be contact.
Yes, just loses the car just a tiny bit. Now they're going to go side by side here through this turn 3. Who's got DRS? Guyton has DRS. He's able to still stay ahead.
McLeod's giving up the position, not fighting too much because he knows that they will lose quite a lot of time if they fight too much.
It's always easy to, even though they're racing, just work together a tiny bit, try and push away from the rest of the pack. So when they do battle, they don't lose too much time to that pack, because the more drivers you have, the more messy it gets. And these guys have a lot of pace right now, so if they can just use that pace, I don't think Rose is catching, because he's already lost another 3-4 tenths to this pack.
That's also because on the straights they're gaining so much time top 4, whereas Rose is also running low on battery. Without DRS, it's difficult for him to actually, even though he's gaining in the corners as Digo is spun.
Yep, spun on the
after
middle
turn 8.
sector. Yes.
Yeah. And now we'll see a move, maybe for
think so.
P3, Sabi closing in on the Mercedes with more ERS available. On the
I think
outside now, I don't think that's the better place.
Yeah, no. I think the better place is to overtake in turn four because you don't want to lose too much
Yes.
time through the S's. And
Now
turn
he does.
four, yes. So now let's see, can Sabi overtake? Obviously, Black Box also has DRS. The Alfa Romeo of McLeod also had a bit of a look at the Red Bull there, but not able to do it. Black Box able to hold it around the outside. So right now, the same P4, no changes so far. And look at that gap. Now it's 2.9
Yeah, it's
seconds.
It's
So
just
this,
getting bigger and bigger.
but crucially, Guyton only has 40% ERS, and McLeod has 60. And Black Box only on 14, and Sabi on 29. This is another thing with the DRS train. Obviously, you can easily put up your battery, but when you're that last car in a train, you lose out on slipstream. So you need to use a tiny bit more just to keep in that slipstream sometimes. But now look at this, McLeod right on the back of Guyton here. Will he try and go early? He's deploying a lot of his battery now.
Yeah. Guyton doesn't even defend. So I think McLeod will go for the position. And
I
also
think they might.
Sabi.
Yep, Sabi also at back. Let's see. Yep, so they're still racing up here. So change the lead, and both Alfa Romeos have made up a position. So good job there from them. But Guyton now looking to fight back into turn four. Can he do it around the outside? It is easy to do, but can McLeod just hold it? Leaves not just enough room, but Guyton had to go wide. And I see rain. I see rain now.
Yeah.
So the rain is coming.
To be ahead. Now it's important to be ahead because if DRS gets disabled in the wet, it's more difficult to overtake, and whoever is in front will have the advantage. And McLeod pushing Guyton to the edge of the track and defending P1. What a brilliant battle between those two
Very
drivers.
tight racing, exactly, yes, and exactly what you said. Once that DRS gets deactivated, it's going to be very hard to overtake, especially if a lot of these guys might be running slightly higher downforce. It just means that they have not enough straight line speed to even keep up sometimes.
And now timing will be important because if your race engineer says pit now, both Alfa Romeos need double stack. So Sabi at the moment will lose quite a lot of time. So maybe he can perform an undercut or maybe go a lap longer. So
and Black Box going for that overtake. Guyton also going for the overtake. Sorry, we missed out 2 overtakes there.
I know, yeah. I'm right on board with McLeod. Maybe
DRS disabled now, just at the same time. I think maybe the Alfa Romeos, Sabi should have pit that lap before because he's got that gap to the car behind. And that would... Mali spun, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Alfa Romeo, Sabi should have boxed that lap earlier. Even if he got a slight undercut, it wouldn't have made too much of an issue because they still have some pace right now, those guys. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, will the 2 Alfa Romeos double stack? I'm sure they have to now because it's getting wet very quick.
Yeah.
And obviously Sabi... Oh no. His car still moves.
Safety car. Because if there's a safety car, Sabi won't lose that much time.
I think Sabi retired... Jimmy retired on track without crashing, so maybe there won't be a safety car.
Okay. So let's see. So Tyler's pitting now. Sabi going for 1 lap longer.
So Sabi opting to not get that double stack. Oh, Black Box has 5-second time penalty for speeding.
That's costly. That's really, really costly.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they will have a second pit stop, but if you lose that 5 second in a second pit stop, it's going to be very hard to catch up. We saw how tightly paced these guys are. As Black Box retired, so he thinks his race is done because of that 5 seconds. Which is a shame.
I wouldn't have said so because his pace in the rain looked pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
I think they had a 3-second gap to drivers behind. So I guess even because Sabi went a lap longer now, Sabi's gonna lose out, same as Diego in P4 at the moment.
Exactly, yep.
I think P3 would have been on for Black Box, so maybe there are other issues we don't know about. So
yes.
Let's see.
I'm just watching. Oh, Sabi spun. Not enough grip.
Oh, yeah, that's the rainy conditions.
So now Sabi's going to have to do a lot of work now to try and get himself back through the pack. Because look at that gap. It's only 15 seconds to the Red Bull. It's dropping easily now, like 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. So this is going to be very painful for Sabi here. He had to take the hit and box a lap later. He should have ideally boxed a lap earlier, which is easy to say after. But It's a
The
shame.
good thing, he will be, he probably comes out just around Harry. Harry at the moment in P7, just overtaking his teammate who's Fun, who's on a dry tire as well, than as Sabi. And
Yeah.
Sabi now in the pit, he should be exiting just behind Harry. So in P7, which is, because he's Fun, not that bad.
Don't see any battles going on track right now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where can Sabi come out now. He's just exiting the pit lane now, and he's gonna have to be very careful through this exit point here. It's very easy to lose a car.
He's racing Bomber on pit exit. The Alpha
think-
Tauri going
yep.
around the outside.
It's important that he stays ahead.
And he will.
Yes, he will. He will. So good job there. Now he's got a lot of work to do. He needs to gain at least 5 positions here now to get into that podium position again.
And Harry up into P6. Very
Good job.
Of
Very
course,
good job.
He did profit from those pits because, of course, not only Sabi or his own teammate, lost. Also, other teammates who had to go up longer or maybe double stack lost out a bit of time. But still, P6, and the gap to cars in front is 4 seconds. Bombastic at the moment in podium position.
I was going to say, because of Black Box retiring and also Sabi having to stay out, but Bombastic up into P3 right now. Got the Williams of Kinsman behind him. Kinsman was very quick in those inters conditions, so I believe he might be running a slightly different setup from Dries. It's very hard to overtake here.
Let's see. We have a three-way battle now between Bombastic, Kingsman, and Rose for P3, and a two-way battle between Gaten and McLeod, and maybe we'll see even another change in weather at the end of the race.
Yes, exactly. Maybe we can, like we said, it'll be nice to see some changeable conditions here. Maybe go back to slicks as well. It'll be interesting. But yeah, right now, I don't think McLeod is being able to push Guyton that much in the wets right now. Obviously, there is no DRS, so it's going to be hard to overtake. But crucially, because of the wet conditions, they are able to recoup a lot of their battery power because the braking zones are longer, so they can push harder now and deploy battery whenever they want. And they are slowly pulling away from Bombastic as well. I think the gap was around 7 seconds a lap before, and now it's 7.9. So around maybe a second and a half per lap. Bombastic makes a big mistake, and that means the Williams of Kinsman is right behind, but he's only got 33% of battery. He is deploying, but Bombastic has 62, and he is still able to keep ahead as Walcott gets the first 3-second time penalty of the race. Let's put up the penalty. Yep. So 3 seconds there. As
Lost
McLeod,
some time in the last lap.
yes, so just over a second now.
Like he could, I mean, I guess we finished 1/3 of the race. I guess now it's just about keeping the car on track, doing nice clean laps, trying to, of course, get ahead of themselves. Do not get ahead of themselves, and maybe waiting for a mistake from Gaten.
Yes, exactly. We're only a third of the way now through this race. There's no need to push extremely hard. We've still got another long way to go. But these two have enormous pace compared to the rest of the guys. So they can just push, but not push too hard, and just keep their positions right now and fight out a bit later. But we got a yellow flag in Sector 2. I think that is a Red Bull. No, it's not. It's Williams of
it's
Walcott.
It's Walcott,
Yes.
yeah.
Too many blue cars.
Yeah. I actually hope that they will improve that. Oh, there was contact between Randy and MDJ.
Oh, yes, I can just see that now.
In turn 10. And it wasn't hard contact. I think it was very light. But because of the wet track, it's easier to spin. It was front wing to front wing or front tire to front tire.
I don't see any damage between the two drivers, so I think they're okay.
Yeah, that's very good.
So that's okay. But yeah, that's a shame for Randy and also MDJ because they were doing pretty well so far in this race. Actually, Rose going for an overtake on Kinsman, and he's managed to pull it off into turn 4. So very good job there from Rose. Kinsman only on 6%, sorry, and Rose on 38. Bombastic still on 65, so doing very good with the energy management there. And now let's see if Rose can push onto and try and overtake Bombastic, but Bombastic does have a lot of ERS compared to him.
Yeah, but Rose looks faster than him.
Yes.
And remembering the qualifying times from Q1, I do remember Rose being quite high up,
Exactly, yeah.
high up in the timing table. So I guess he has a bit more pace in the rain than in the dries.
I'm guessing they might be running a wet setup as well, maybe, because they could see the weather for the race.
Yeah, and we might actually see him now going for an overtake. This is really close. Only
Yeah.
3 attempts.
He's not deploying. Bombastic on 75. Now Rosé's deploying. Maybe he's going to look for a turn 4 move. So he's just going to try and get as close as he can through the turns 1, 2, and 3 section and see if he can pull off a move into turn 4. Bombastic just goes wide of the apex there, so this could be the opening for Rosé. Can Bombastic get a good exit? Can Rosé get a good exit as well? Looking very even on the traction there. Rosé not close enough this time round, but he's still going to try and deploy just a tiny bit. But Bombastic able to hold off. I think Bombastic, yet still on 80%. So Chris doing a very good job in the Alpine to be able to stay ahead and have a lot more battery. So maybe Chris has some decent pace just to stay ahead. And this is all Chris needs to do. As long as he can just continue doing the same thing, I don't see how those 2 cars behind can overtake. But importantly there, I can see Harry closing in slowly in that McLaren.
He's using the fights in front of him to actually close in. He has 40% ERS, so a bit more than actually Kingsman in front of him. And yeah, I mean, in the rain, the track is perfect for racing, but in the wet, the straights are a bit too short to actually really overtake.
Yeah.
And therefore, if Bombastic doesn't make any mistakes, any big mistakes, especially in the rear last corner or in sector 1, I don't see anyone overtaking him. It's very difficult to overtake.
Precisely, yes. Harry doing a very good job, already gaining on these straights. So maybe Harry running a bit of a drier setup because he's got a lot of straight line speed. He gained 7/10 just on one straight. So very good job there. As Black Box saying, his brake pedal was not working that well, so he decided to retire. I believe he was having hardware issues with his pedals, so yeah, that's fair. He said he didn't want to take anyone out just in case.
That's really fair. That's a technical issue, as he would actually say in real Formula 1.
Yes.
Brake issues, which is really unfortunate for him because he was in net P3 position. And to be fair, looking at the gap between McLeod and Bombastic, it would have been an easy P3 position. Even though he had that 5-second penalty. So I guess it's really unfortunate for him. But I mean, his pace was mega, and I think he can actually rely on that.
And I think my theory is correct because Harry losing just a bit of time through this middle sector, but on the straights he's able to gain it back. And because maybe he's running lower downforce, he's able to recharge that battery quicker as well because he has to brake a bit longer, but less drag on the straights as well. But let's see here, so he's going to be deploying quite a bit. He's already gained like 3-4 tenths even before he crossed the line. Just needs to keep pushing. If he can just get closer into the end of sector 1, he can try and just stay behind in that middle sector maybe. He's doing a very good job so far. I forgot to mention, Harry has been doing very well in the F1 Esports qualifiers. He is one driver to look out for the future, so I know Harry is very quick. One of the quickest in this game actually. So yeah, let's see what he can do by the end of the race. But yeah, I think he is running slightly less wing on his car. So the guys in P5, 4 and 3 are able to just keep ahead in that middle sector. But Harry is still very close. He's able to gain quite a bit. Now he's only 7/10 behind. So if he can just push a bit more and keep in that gap, I think he's going to be able to slowly wheel them in and maybe even go for an overtake.
To be honest, I've been looking at Bombastic's driving style in the last few laps because I wondered why they are actually so much slower than the front two. And it is actually quite nice to see that Bombastic isn't going full pace. If you look at his driving style, he's going very slowly through the corners, trying to actually keep the car straight, not spinning, not having too much wheel spin on the exit. Therefore, he's defending his position quite nicely, but through the corners, he's a bit slower than he could be actually. So
yes.
Doing it safe, which is absolutely what he should do in this position at the moment.
I do joke around with Bombastic a lot, but he is a bit of a sly fox and he does know how to position the car well. But having said that, Rosé now very close to him.
But still not close enough.
Bombastic very smart as well in his driving. Look, just parking that car on the middle a bit there, not allowing Rosé to try and look on the inside there. But yeah, Bombastic very smart in the way he drives sometimes.
Yes. absolutely. And there's no point in pushing the car because the gap to two drivers in front is way too big anyway. So it's just about defending P3, and if that's if going slower is what he needs to do, he should do it.
And
So-
by doing that, now he's pushing Rose and Kinsman to fight a bit because Rose took a bit of a wider line that allowed Kinsman to try and see if he can slip in and overtake. Not able to do that just yet. Look how much traction Kinsman can get through Magulio into now Junsao. Yeah, that Williams looking good. Another yellow flag. That is a Red Bull actually, so I think it's a racing. Yes, it
yeah.
is. Yes.
And we see side by side between Jeffrey and MDJ through turn 11. So that's good to see some racing there.
Yes, Mali slowly closing in on them as well. I'm trying to see if there's any change. No, but Harry is now firmly in this fight now between them.
Yeah, and Sabi going past Psycho. And he's only 4 seconds behind the pack as well. And if
Yes.
they're actually fighting much more in front of him, Sabi could be joining them.
Exactly. I think we're going to see a bit of a bombastic train here between P3 and P7, 8 maybe. I'm sure Chris will be loving it for the meme.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I
halfway
would.
through, halfway through this race now, 18 laps gone. The gap between the top two, 1.6 seconds, and then a further 12 seconds to P3 there. Seeing this train here. The weather seems to be pretty stable right now. No change of scenario right now. I think we might see some inter conditions for still a little longer. But yeah, now look at Kinsman right behind. He's able to get right behind Rosie, but when it comes to the overtake, just not able to do it yet.
Yeah, probably much more downfall.
Exactly, yes, and you can see that now. I think Rosie not deploying a bit now, but not too much, and Kinsman just not able to stay there. And now Harry
And now
very
Harry,
close on the
Harry
straight.
is coming for
Is he going to go down
Harry's
the
now
inside?
going for an overtake.
Yes, he is.
The
The
fine
McLaren.
overtake. Yes. Oh, contact.
Ooh, a bit of contact. But can he get now a little switchback? Yes, he can. Now, can he keep the run through there? Can he keep the power down just right on the limit of the power there? Now he's going to be deploying. He's got a lot more straight line
Yes,
speed.
and
He's going to go
so
for the
much
inside.
faster.
So much
going on the
commitment.
grass.
And just gets it.
What a wonderful overtake.
Yes, great battling between the two. Right on the limit. Kinsman looking on the inside, trying to get a look, but not able to do it there. But very good racing right on the limit there. Especially on the inside. In the wet conditions on the grass, Harry with a lot of commitment and bravery through there.
That was some insane top speed from Harry actually.
Yes.
In the rain, they both were deploying ES and they both had enough ES to deploy. Harry was just powering by. So I guess if Harry is close enough to Rose and Bombastic, he could actually go for a move.
100%. And I think this is where the difference is going to be made for Harry there to make up those positions. Using that slightly lower downforce setup with that increased top speed, can he make the difference and make those positions up? Because look at him right now, he's gaining slowly and dropping Kinsman behind. This is important for Kinsman. He needs to try and stay in this train if he wants a chance for at least a top 4, maybe even P3 if something happens.
And Savi already gained 2 seconds because of the fight in front of him. So
Exactly,
he's
yes.
on it as well. And I'm not sure how long this tire will last, but they pitted on lap 10 for those video tires.
We have
don't
seen.
think that they can. I'm not sure that. Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
for me personally, I don't think they can stretch this tire to the end of the race. I think they have to stop another time.
I have seen some people push the Inters right to the end, but they have very high tire wear, maybe in the 70-80 region. Just depends on the driving style. For example, like when I'm on pad, I have a lot more tire wear than on wheel, so
Yes.
I can never do that. But these guys, a lot of them are on wheels, so they may be able to manage those tires a bit better. And maybe Chris going a bit slow, as I think Mali spun, yes he has.
Yeah, Mali's fun.
But yeah, Chris being on wheel, driving slowly, maybe he's just saving his tyres a bit as well at that same time, because he's only pushing when it comes to the straight and the exit. He's not forcing the car into the corner, if that makes sense. Not having to drive so hard.
I mean, yeah, that's probably it.
And
It's
Chris
going to be
Owen,
interesting to see, because if they want to go for another pit stop, it should be any time now. Otherwise it won't make
Exactly.
any sense. So I guess if they go into lap 30 as Chris outbrakes himself,
ooh, and
Rose
slows
being-
down,
oh,
and
and
that
he-
causes a bit of a pile-up behind.
and I think Harry made some contact. I'm not sure whether Harry made some contact,
I think it was
Or
just the concertina effect. Rose, I mean, yeah, Rose
yes,
going into the back of Chris a bit, and then Harry just maybe tapping Rose as well.
yeah,
I think
and
that
in the
might be
record,
just a bit of a racing incident there because it
yeah,
was just the
it looked
concertina
like it.
effect.
Yeah,
As
and there
Mali's
was some,
decided to finish
yeah,
today,
there was
yes.
some very light contact and like between MDJ and Randy in the rain. It's just so easy to spin the car even with slightest contact. Yeah, that's
Exactly,
just
yes.
really unfortunate. Really
Yeah,
unfortunate for Rose.
I don't think that there's much that could have been done there. Um, yeah, Chris outbraking himself, having to go a bit tight to the apex, and that just slowed down everyone else.
So now Harry is in the top position for fighting for the podium positions. And let's see whether he can get close enough
Yep. And look at that
to
straight
the
line speed. He's
Alpine.
just pulling away
Yeah,
from Kinsman there. He's using his battery. Bombastic on
and he's actually
85% though.
I think he's getting closer. But the problem is Bombastic has nearly 90% ERS available, and he's not using any of it because he knows in the corners he's faster, and if he needs it, he can use it as Randy
And
spun.
yes,
And
Randy has spun.
and Savi is on the back of Kingsman now.
Exactly, yes. So now we lost Rose in this battle, but now we gained Sabi in this battle. Sabi, he's on 25% battery, so he's had to deploy quite a bit just to catch up, but it's worth it if you can try and make these overtakes work. But Chris,
Yeah.
I can't believe it. He's on 80% battery in that Alpine, doing a very good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, Mr. Psycho is closing in. Gap was about 2.2 seconds, now it's 1.7.
Yes, I think that little bit of battling and then that issue with Rose and the cars, I think that just allowed Psycho to get in there as well in this fight. As Racing gets a 5 second time penalty for speeding in the box.
Ooh.
That was a lot of commitment there from Harry, keeping the overtake
Yeah.
button on when the car was using the rear end.
It looked pretty dangerous actually. Oh, now Sabi taking a look down the inside of the Williams driver.
Yes, I think we saw Digo get another 3 seconds maybe, let's see. No,
Yeah.
okay, so this first 3 seconds. Yeah, Savi now needs to really get a bit of a move on. Luckily, Kinsman for him is only on 6% ERS. And Sabi on 27, Harry on 19, and Chris on 60. So he did deploy to try and defend from Harry there, but he still got such an advantage. And up ahead, Guyton and McLeod, gap now 15 seconds to P3, but McLeod just losing touch of Guyton there. Guyton at 2.5 seconds ahead of that Alfa Romeo. So those two still in their race of their own, but Guyton still ahead and gaining quite a bit of time.
Yeah. And if those drivers really want to push higher to the end of the race, they managed to do it halfway now. 14 laps done, 14 laps, or more or less 15 laps remaining of the race.
Just amazing top speed from Harry there, pulling away from Kinsman, doing 323 kilometers on the straight.
Yeah. It's about 10 more. Again, 10 more. And Savi, who nearly spun out of turn 1, but was able to catch it. Rose in the pit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to go for fresh tires or maybe retire. I don't know. Interesting to see that we've
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
go.
full wet.
full wets. Strange. So maybe the weather's going to get worse.
Yeah. And that's gonna be interesting to see with the top with
Yeah.
Bombastic, Harry, Kingston, Savi, and also Mr. Psycho who's closing in pretty fast now. Who of
It
them
does-
is gonna risk it?
It does seem like it could be getting a bit wetter on track. I can see a lot more rain falling, but I don't know if
I mean,
we are going to see full wets.
yeah. I mean, I see a lot more sliding cars, so drivers do having more issues with keeping the car on track.
Yep. And actually, Kinsman is right behind
Yeah.
Harry here, but Harry will be able to pull away on the straight as Harry just loses the car a bit. He's pushing the limit there. He's still deploying through here. There's a lot of commitment from him there, keeping it flat with overtake mode now. Maybe this is the
Now
time for him to
Bombastic is
overtake.
using ERS.
Yes.
Now it's gonna be really interesting to see who will come out on top and head of turn 1, 2, 3?
Harry opting for the
Bombastic.
outside line. Can you make it? Chris just leaving enough room. They make some
Oh, we see
contact,
the
but luckily
Hamilton.
no one spins. And now can Harry get the run on the outside? I'm going to ride on board with Kinsman because he's right behind these two. Harry on the outside gets a slightly better exit now. Bombastic pushing on the inside now. Can he get it on the inside? Let's see.
Yes.
Harry not able to overtake there, sadly for him. And this is now allowing their Psycho to join this little train as well.
Sabi got past Kingsman. I didn't see
Oh,
that.
wow. Okay, yeah, so maybe that battling just allowed Sabi to overtake because those two going side by side must have slowed Kinsman down. Kinsman looking down
and
the
now
inside,
Kingsman
actually.
Goes for a dive. Yeah. And
Sabi goes wide to leave space.
Yeah, and they still at it. They're still going side by side. Even more contact.
And we see Digo spinning on the straight. But yeah, more side by side action. Harry and Chris still fighting. Kinsman and Sabi fighting. And now Psycho has joined this fight as well. So these guys here between P3 and P7 doing a very good show for us.
Yeah, and I think it's time for the forward tire actually.
I think it is. It's looking very, very wet here. No one boxing just yet between these guys.
I mean, it's only 10 laps remaining. The big question is, will you gain in time with the forward tire? I think McLeod could actually try it. If the gap rises between him and Bombastic, he could go for forward.
Exactly, yes, and there's nothing to lose, to be honest, because if he has that pit stop gap and it's getting wet conditions, maybe it'd be interesting for McLeod to try and see if he can push and overtake Guyton in P1.
Oh, Sabi runs wide a bit.
Yes,
Exit
just
turn
saw that
5.
as well.
And
And Digo retiring, so could this release a safety car?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. So full yellow.
And I think they will actually go. I haven't looked at Rosie's times, whether he gains time. Let's see if ever Guyton actually goes to the pits, because I think top two drivers, they could actually.
I think he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So Guyton in the box. McLeod going into the box as well. Chris, will you go into the box? This is now worth it if it's going to get full wet conditions to have a free pit stop here, basically.
I mean, even for the top two to get fresh intermediate tires, and we see fresh intermediate tires for Guyton and McLeod. Fresh intermediate tires. Yes.
So yeah, maybe still not enough for full wets, but yeah, get those fresh inters on now. Might as well. So.
Yeah. Then of course I would actually go for track position. If I would have been Mr. Psycho, I would have gone for track position, saying to myself, well, it's either P7 with fresh tires or P3 that I can defend. I would have gone for track position. But I guess, of course, a first immediate is quite nice.
Exactly, yeah. So we have just over 9 laps remaining. We're under safety car right now. But sadly for Guyton and McLeod, their gap is going to drop, and that's going to allow these guys to now try and see if they can push. Because we saw with Chris, if Chris can maybe jump one of the cars, like a McLeod or Guyton or whatever, he's able to defend quite a bit and not use too much of his battery. And that would be very crucial for Chris's race here. But equally, Harry could dive it on the inside into turn 1 or something, you know? So this is going to be very important because they're going to be very close now.
Yeah, the problem for Harry was because he couldn't make any overtake on Bombastic because he didn't have enough ERS to do so. We saw Bombastic actually saving quite a lot. And I think now with every driver having 100% at the restart, Harry could go for an overtake on the first 2 laps.
Exactly, yes. We're going to see a little sprint race here in the wet conditions when the safety car goes in. We've still got quite a bit of a gap between all the drivers in the field. So the safety car could be out for a little while.
Yeah, we have 2 drivers on forward tires, Rose and Wolcott. So that's going to be interesting to see if they stayed on those tires. So
and interestingly,
maybe, of course we saw in qualifying that there is a time where the intermediate isn't faster or slower than the forward. But maybe with timing the forward tire of Rose could be better because it provides more grip.
Yes.
More weight.
And interestingly, I saw Guyton dummying for the box, so maybe we're on this crossover of wets coming. I don't know, but I did see him dummying the cars behind for the box. So this will be interesting to see. But yeah, exactly. Rose and Walcott on those full wets. Maybe if it's on this borderline crossover, maybe
Yeah.
they could
I
pull
mean,
off
we
something.
won't. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we won't see any more pit stops. It wouldn't make any sense with 8 laps remaining, maybe 6 laps remaining with the safety car coming in. It wouldn't make any sense to pit. So it's all about traction and getting the overtakes done on track. And maybe Rose in P9 at the moment has the best chances of getting up the grid, maybe even close to a podium position.
Yes, exactly. No point taking these risks on boxing because they've lost all that free time now. But yeah, we still see those three cars trying to catch up. We have Randy, Jeffrey, and Walcott, I believe.
Yeah. And we have a Red Bull of racing who was lapped. He's in between McLeod and Bombastic. So that's actually pretty good for the top two because Bombastic isn't allowed to overtake racing before the start finish straight. And if there's any complications or misunderstandings between the two drivers, they could actually lose a lot of time to the top two.
Exactly, yeah.
Because racing needs to let a lot of drivers pass after the safety car restart.
Exactly,
really
yeah.
Fortunate for him.
It'll be interesting to see how racing does it. Maybe he might help his teammate out just a tiny bit, even though you shouldn't be under blue flag conditions. Maybe just holding back a tiny bit, but we don't know.
No. I mean, the best thing he could do is react a bit later. So if Guyton makes the restart, he doesn't need to stay right behind McLeod. He can wait 1 or 2 seconds until he actually accelerates, which is unfair, but it is a trick he can actually use.
Exactly, yeah. But good point there about that Red Bull. Shame for racing that he's lapped, and there's sadly no unlapping mechanism in this game. But yeah, this is going to be crucial for Chris because he needs to make sure he doesn't get distracted or flustered from that Red Bull there. And ghosting is on, so he should be able to ghost through if he has enough pace. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing for the restart. But yeah, Walcott very close. Maybe he can catch up just before they get to the final sector, and that should mean the safety car will be in this lap. I think it could go in this lap actually because it's been out for a while.
No way.
Oh
he lost
no.
a lot of positions. He's down into P9 now, so behind Rose. So that means that Sabi is now in a good point to overtake.
And crucially, safety car is in this lap. So we are going to get a safety car restart now.
Walcott is has closed in. Let's see. Can McLeod? That might be his only chance to go for an overtake.
Yes. Guyton might be leaving it till the last minute, and this is going to just drop the pack a bit back, and Guyton's gone already. A lot of wheel spin actually, but still able to get away cleanly from McLeod there. Deploying his ERS McLeod just to stay ahead, and obviously that Red Bull is ghosted. Can Chris do anything to clear that Red Bull early? Not yet. I don't see any battles maybe so far. Actually, yes.
Mr. Psycho and MD against Randy. We saw that battle earlier this race. Gone bad, and now
you can see a three-way battle at the back as well. Yes, that is it.
Against Walcott and Jeffrey. And Walcott actually, Jeffrey got both of them. It was last at one point. Jose getting past Bomber. So that red tire seems to be working.
Looks like it, yeah. Be interesting to see now what Rosie can do. The blue flag car of racing not having to get out the way just yet maybe, but Chris not able to close up. But now in the middle sector, can he close up and clear that lap car? But yeah, Sabi, this is amazing for Sabi now because if he can get a podium, that's going to be a great recovery for him.
It's going to be probably the best recovery he could have done.
Yes, exactly. Guyton, 7/10 now the gap between him and McLeod. Will he try and pull away like he did in that previous stint? Now that they're on fresh inters, but obviously you have these weather conditions. Let's see, but Rose actually going for an overtake, so maybe he is going to be close to full wets now.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. And
we see a yellow flag.
Kingsman is up into P4. Rose up into P6.
Yep. And I saw a yellow flag behind for both the Mercedes and now also Jeffrey, so two of those cars having some issues in these tricky conditions here. Sabi making a crucial mistake, so we're just singing praises about his recovery.
Yeah.
It gave him a bit of a commentary's curse a bit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, now Kinsman trying to overtake that Red Bull into turn 4. Can he do it? Because obviously he is a lap car.
Kingsman has fuel issues. He still needs to save a bit of fuel, which is pretty weird because we had a safety car just now.
Yes, exactly. I can see minus 0 point something, I think.
Yeah. There's not much, so he is gonna save it until the end of the race. There won't be any
Yes.
issues. But still weird.
Luckily in the wets it is easier to save up the fuel, so maybe that's what he was trying to do. Have a slightly lighter car compared to the other guys, because I can see a lot of guys on 2 laps, 3 laps worth of fuel, as Randy gets a 3-second time penalty as well.
And now Rose, sorry to interrupt, Rose is right behind Savi, and to be fair, I think Rose will get the podium.
I think so. I think Rose is going to be a dark horse here, because it's looking like it's full wet conditions slowly now, and he's got so much grip, so much confidence on the exit there, and Savi using a bit of his overtake, but now look at Rose here. Can he challenge into turn 1?
He can actually go later on the brakes, and he could actually go for a race win. Like the leading pack is like right in front of him. He can see Gaten. So
could Rose have pulled off a master stroke here in that Aston Martin, almost full wet tyres?
Maybe in like another side, the crash and the spin, maybe it was good for him in the end. Because
exactly.
I don't think he would have gone for the wet tire, because it would have just been risky, and so in the end, maybe good move. We see Kingsman on the inside.
Yeah, trying to pull an overtake on Chris. Chris parking the car in the middle of the track. Nicely done. Yes.
And McLeod also really close.
Yes, I can see that as well. So these two now pushing. Maybe Guyton's just struggling a tiny bit in these harder wet conditions. And I think MDJ has spun.
Yeah, spun on the turn 8. But
look at Rose, he's already caught up to Kinsman, like, in 1 lap. So he's pushing very hard on those wet tyres.
Yes, and if he gets both of them in the next lap, he can actually really make the victory here. That would have been one of the amazing comebacks I've ever seen from a driver.
He's getting very close. Is he going to dive it down the inside? I think he is. Yes, he is.
Oh, yes, he is.
Very good job there. Overtake. Kinsman trying to hold it around the outside, but not able to have that grip there. And Rose up into P4 now. What a recovery.
And now Bombastic. Can he make a move into turn 5? Turn 4, no he can't. But he can close up again in sector 2.
Chris, crucially on 60%, Rose on 40. Shouldn't make too much of a difference right now because they've still got quite a lot of battery here.
And I think the rain is getting heavier.
I think it is. Yes, it looks like it as well. So maybe Rose pulling off a master stroke here. It's going to be interesting to see. As we've got another yellow flag. I think that's a Red Bull. I think that's the lap car though, so it's not too bad. Rose trying to go around the outside a bit of Chris, just filling up Chris's mirrors.
Can he?
Ooh, Chris parking it in the middle. Chris crucially stable to keep up with the top 2 here.
But that's also good for Rose if he gets past him. He's
exactly.
right behind McLeod.
The top 2 really need Chris here to try and hold up. Rose losing the. Chris losing the car just a tiny bit here. Rose on 60%, Chris on 70% now deploying. You can see Chris does have a bit more straight line speed than Rose here. And they're both deploying at the exact same time. But yeah, Chris just using that straight line speed, but goes a bit wide. So can Rose have a look now? I think Jeffrey has a bit of a spin there. Ooh, Chris just closing the door just a tiny bit there. It should be fine there.
No, it was very good. And we've been focusing on Chris on Walter for quite a long time, but look at Walcott in P8. He was P13 at one point. He's
exactly.
Now P8.
And Sabi crucially has gone for full wet, so is he going to try and see if he can pull back some time? But he's very far back, so I don't think it's going to be possible for him.
I think that's pretty late. I think he was hoping that everybody else is going on full wets as well. And I think they need to make a move in the corners. Because I don't think that he can make a move on the straights.
We can see Rosa here trying to have a look on the outside of Chris and not able to do that. But can you go down the inside here? Chris blocking it. Very good job there. Parking it in the middle. Rosa just nudging him a bit, but that's okay.
And now we need to maybe going on the inside now.
Nah, just can't do it. Taps so Chris just a tiny bit again, but it should be okay. I think now they're both going to deploy. Chris on 70, Rose on 40. So Chris actually having gaining a lot more ERS throughout the lap. compared to Rosé, but look at Chris's straight line speed. Just
and
able to hold him.
That will actually help him performing an amazing job to keep P3. Because if Rosé doesn't get past this lap, it won't be enough for Rosé to actually get another car.
Can Rosé get a good run through his turn 3? He had a slightly better exit, I think, but went a bit wide on that curb and just unsettled the car a tiny bit. Still unable to do anything. I think Rosé really needs to try in the middle sector, but Chris is doing a very good job parking the car in the middle of the track, which he is allowed to do. Kinsman gets another 3-second time penalty.
And now the Psycho getting really close to Bomber, who in fact is actually in net P5 position because everybody around him has a penalty.
Chris moving under braking there. You shouldn't be doing that, Chris. Oh God,
and
Rosé.
Now he's close. Now he's close. Can
Rosé go round the outside? He's going to try. Chris, will he close the door? But Rosé, can he get the switch back? Can he go round the outside of this corner? I think he does have enough grip. This is going to be amazing racing if Rosé can pull it off.
Yes,
just threads the needle and gets past Chris. Amazing job there from Rosé. Now, can he fight with the top two? This is going to be crucial for Rosé. He is super close. McLeod loses the car.
McLeod makes a mistake. And he's up into P2. And he has one lap remaining to get Guyton for P1. And McLeod is coming back at him for P2.
Can Rosé go around the outside? Will he try? McLeod goes a bit wide, defending a bit hard there, but it's still okay, I think.
And that means that Guyton will actually keep P1. Because I don't think that they will catch him until the end of the lap.
Yes, I don't think so.
It's doing the impossible.
They're both in the single digits of ERS now. Rosé on 10, McLeod on 10 as well. But now this is crucial for Rosé. Can he do something in the middle sector like he did with Chris? I think he should try for that round of the outside move through Magulio. I think that'll be the place that he can do it if he can just get that switch back there. But I'm sure McLeod had seen that and will try and cover that off, parking the car in the middle. Ooh, Rosé tapping McLeod a bit there and taps him again. I think Rosé, full respect, should not overtake just now and just wait for a tiny bit. But he's still going to go for every tap. Rosé really wants this, and he should be able to go around the outside now like he did with Chris. It's going to be a lot of question marks there. Was that fair? Was that not? Because he did hit the rear end.
And Kingsman in the back, already also going for a move.
Yes, so Chris, in the space of 2 laps, has gone from P3 to P5 there. But the man of the day, Guyton, just able to pull off and stay in P1 with a fast Rosé behind. But Rosé actually pulling off and allowing. I think Rosé has lost some fuel or something. I don't know. But he let McLeod by. So I think respect, he did that.
Yeah, it was racing because he had 3 laps over fuel.
Yes.
Bombastic in P3, P4. Sadly not P3, I would have loved him on
And Sappy tried to go for a move on, I don't know who it was, but he crashes into the wall a bit. But that is this race over. We just have Jeffrey to cross the line now.
Yes, that was an amazing last few laps, like the last 5 laps were bombastic. Absolutely amazing. The whole race was just, wow. Couldn't have been better. Couldn't have been any better.
Exactly, yes. What a race. What a race of champions between all of these guys.
It was truly a race of champions, to be fair.
Harry gets driver of the day.
Absolutely fair. From P18 to P5, back down to P9, back up to P6, I think, in the end. Yeah. Wow. Really amazing drive from all of his drivers. And boring as it is, it's a start-finish win for Guyton, who gets up into first position. Yes, I agree with that one. Amazing job there from Guyton in that Red Bull. But Rosé, what a charge on those full wets. Takes that gamble and pulls up to P3. So it was nice to see our racing respect. He let McLeod go by. He could have won this race. Like, he could have, yes. Even if like McLeod and him didn't fight in turn 1 or turn 2, I think he could have gotten Guyton into P1. So it was really, really close. It was definitely the right decision to go for that forward tire. And, I will run through the final race results for Race of Champions, round number 3 basically.
And we have Guyton in P1, McLeod P2, Rose, amazing charge in P3, Bombastic P4, great defense from him. Bomber sneaks into P5. We didn't see him much in the race, but sneaks into P5. Harry P6, great recovery from him. Kingsman P7, Walcott P8, MDJ P9, Psycho P10, Savvy P11, Randy P12, a bit of a race for him to forget. Jeffrey P13, Racing P14, Digo P15, and our 3 DNFs, Mali, Black Box, and Jimmy. So that is the finishing results for the third edition of Race of Champions here in URL. And I'm going to ask you an important question there, my friend. Who do you think your driver of the day was, not the game's driver of the day?
Oh. It was an amazing race. Let's leave it like that.
Let's leave it
Harry
at that. Okay.
Harry deserves driver today. I think for me it's Bombastic. Bombastic driver today is because of course Rose you have the amazing pace at the end of the race, but I think Bombastic being in P3 and defending P3, I think from lap 11 onwards, right until the end of the race, until he was overtaken around the outside by a wonderful move by Rose, I think Bombastic deserves driver of the day because overall he's done a perfect job.
Exactly, yes. And I think I would say the same thing with Bombastic as well. Amazing defense drive from him. Just lost out on that podium towards the end. But still a very good job there from him. But yes, I think we both like to say thank you for joining us for this third edition of Race of Champions here in URL. Apologies for the long winter break. We will be back very soon, and I'm sure you guys can't wait to see what we have in store for the next season. James, any final words?
No, I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to next season. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yes, I did. And it was a pleasure having you join me in the commentary box. Luckily, I wasn't too bad during the race because I am a bit sick today. But yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. From me and James and from the URL team. Thank you very much for joining. And we will catch you guys soon. Take care.